Hey everyone, the castle here, about to explain some stuff. Alright, so with that said, a lot of texture work is going on. There's not a whole lot to actually update on other than the fact that there's just a lot more work that's just going into everything at this point in time. Now, let's see, I've got at least a prelim, pass on like, I'm trying to get, that technique where you have like the flat steps that actually look 3D, kind of a thing. Kind of makes a lot of sense to go in this route, and everything like that. Oh, and by the way, I'm totally sorry for getting this video out late. This doesn't mean that I'm changing the schedules of my videos. It was just that I overslept and I didn't get a whole lot done, so I wanted to make sure I had something to show in this video. So I took a little extra time and made sure that that would be the case, that I wouldn't be just showing you a video of me, staring at something that you've already seen before. But here's some new textures that, some new materials that I put together since the last video. Pretty sure I didn't. It's starting to blend together a little bit. Pretty sure I didn't show these off yet. Um, with that said, though, yeah, you could see there's a lot more in terms of all the progress and everything like that. But now it's getting down to the wire where I'm going to have to really seriously think about how to apply the textures, and everything like that. So I have like an example mesh here. So basically a mesh, I'm going to allow up to four different material IDs for a single object, right? Not all of them will have that many though. Most of them will be a lot less than that actually. But in this particular case, um, what you'll be able to do is while in the editor, you'll be able to uh, you'll be able to switch out the different materials. So here I could probably show like a better example. Let me jump into an already existing map and kind of go through that, right? Let's see. I've been actually kind of showing things off with it and everything like that. There's actually a lot of really cool shit going on with this right now, and the fact that the hierarchical instancing is still, it's man, the next level design phase is going to be a lot more intense. So I've applied the base material to, all the objects, but one of the things that's kind of going on here, I'm not really terribly happy with at the moment, is now that we have, and I warned that this would actually be the case, now that we have the materials in place, or at least a base pass, we're lacking trims and everything like that. I'm gonna need to be able to go in and like assign walls with different textures and stuff, and all that. But one of the things that uh, all right, one of the things that I mentioned before was that the lighting, now that we have the materials in, the lighting is gonna look bad because everything was lit with the old stuff in mind. So now we need brighter lights. We need, you know what I mean? Like, and that's to be expected. So like this light right here, it takes a lot more lighting, I think, to actually properly light this, something that's actually properly textured with actual materials and everything like that. And, there's definitely still a lot of stuff like maybe these pillar pieces and everything like that need to have like obviously the crates and everything are all just using like a base repeating texture and stuff. But here's the first steps towards getting actual materials into this. Now what I need to do is start figuring out how to make it so that you can modify the materials and I can get actual materials in place that that'll that'll contour all of the different details a lot better, right? Because like if I use a triplanar material on objects in something like this, you'll end up getting sort of weird cross hatch kind of effect or something like that. I need to have like a couple of materials that are just basically like a sort of like utility um, kind of thing where you can use it to do the trims and for crates and barrels and things of that nature. I want to try and keep it really efficient, a really basic system that can do everything that would be that we're gonna need for all of the material mapping and all that stuff like that, right? So, yeah, there's definitely a lot going on here. I think that the lighting is going to definitely need another pass. So the way that the material uh, editing is going to work when you want to actually place new materials. So I'm gonna make it so that, sorry, so if you see how like there's like a details panel right here, right? So this detail panel will pop up when you have when you actually have a mesh selected, and the detail panel will show a list, just like a bunch of drop down thingies that show like the texture, and then the diffuse texture or whatever of a material, and you'll be able to swap out, just go through the list and for every material ID and select a different one. And like a lot of this stuff really does need a lot of work. Like you can't just like slap this kind of a brick texture and have it not look kind of weird. You know what I mean? You have to have like this has to be metal, this one over here, like that kind of stuff like makes a really big difference. Also, I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to do a reworking of the lighting and stuff as well. Um, but yeah, so here we are, getting a basic first pass at the actual materials being in place. You're getting an idea of kind of what things will look like once I start actually really getting the stuff in a functional state. So yeah, we can kind of fly around for a second, and then I'm probably just gonna go ahead and end the video because um, well, there isn't really a whole lot else to talk about. I will say though that tonight's video will probably have a little bit more progress in terms of like, I don't know, just things in general. I really need to be able to assign the materials in the editor though. It's a pretty big deal. So with that said, I guess I'll just fly around for a second, kind of like look around. A lot of this stuff I'm seeing for the first time as well. Like, I don't want these rooms to have like that brick texture, and I might actually end up doing a lot of tweaking to the textures themselves. But most of this ends up actually just being the lighting. You end up needing a lot more lighting. Everything's so dark, right? Like, I definitely want to have some kind of like a well, I have to I still have to create the slime material, and the slime material might actually end up having kind of a glow to it or something. We'll need new pipes. I'm going to be creating a bunch of new meshes with this pass as well. You could tell I'm working on the steps right now, but yeah. So let's see. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, like this would end up being a different material. Like, is there something overlapping over here? That's a little strange. I guess that doesn't surprise me though. Huh. Yeah, once you start placing materials down, you'll start seeing errors like that, you know. So let's see. Yeah. Well, this is the very first pass. Actually, I wanted to see what this would actually look like with material on it. This is going to have the floor material, the steps going on this one right here, kind of going like that. Um, yeah, man, all the lighting needs to be blown way, way higher. Like intensity needs to probably be like doubled or something for most of this now. Now that there's actual lighting in in this environment, like it's gonna take a lot more to really brighten it up to roughly where it needs to be. I mean, it's kind of crazy actually. So, that looks pretty neat. I mean, yeah, there's definitely it's a lot of big steps in the right direction, but there's still a lot of work needs to be done here. Uh, a lot of it's kind of hard to see now because it's so dark now, you know? Yeah. I just gotta keep going with this. Trims matter a lot, that's for sure. Yeah. Seeing some water down here, stuff like that. There's some coolness here, but I think the sun actually. All right. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the video. But yeah, like there's a lot of progress going so far. Material system's gonna be coming into play soon. And yeah, this I think like most of these levels are probably going to require a complete rework of the lighting, which is a good thing that I got the materials in sooner than later, right? Because like now that we know that the lighting needs to be brighter like across the board, maybe it'll we get that over with sooner, you know. All right, take it easy.